So they're playing the Tracer Sombra stuff. Nothing crazy about that. I think it's actually really strong. Telly's out. See where he goes. Lets ball play by himself. Plays sort of in the team for now. They lose, enemy team just runs into them. Sombra, it's hard to win that. Enemy team just rolls into you, so they lose that first fight. They need to play slower. Let their Sombra set up. Sort of chilling. Sort of seeing, right now we're looking at his positioning, sort of how he positions and how he uses his like economy. Place to force ball out here. Okay, goes plays pressures our tracer. Interesting. What's interesting is he's not using a lot of resources. Like if we watch this, like he wasn't getting Harmony Orb. He wasn't like really, he didn't like take much. Oops, I'm wrong. Look at his aim, but like he sort of just played to like hold space and let his team do work, and then pressure like their ball tracer from an angle. He recalls. Looks to pressure their tracer. You can actually see though how like clean his blink economy is. Like here he's poking, he's resetting his cooldowns, he kills his ball, he still has recall there so it's fine. Recalls, 0 blinks at aim though. Pretty nuts. Really aggressive. Like it's a risky fight to take this with solo blinks. I'm just poking. Interesting. Wow. Look how aggressive he is. It's actually sort of crazy. Like, this is so aggressive. Like, if you look at this, like, the ball didn't even engage here. The Discord was called, and the Sigma and him just pushed the McCree. Like, the Discord was called, then hit a shot, like, he went for it. And, like, even here, like, he's got, like, no resources, but he's just going for it because he's stuck there. A really aggressive player. Very interesting. Like his mid fight is just like if he's stuck in a weird position, he just keeps going for value instead of like living, because he knows that he wants to look for like a kill instead of just dying. He doesn't really mark ball as much as I thought he would. He just looks to be really aggressive, and if ball's there, then he goes for ball. It's a big sticky. Really interesting. He honestly plays a little bit like Cowman. Like he's really not playing with ball. He's like honestly doing his own thing. Pressure Sigma a lot. He honestly, like, it's actually crazy how much he plays like Cowman, where he's just poking. He's barely going in with ball engages. He's just looking for openings and going off these openings. Because he's poking like this, he builds Pulse Bomb pretty fast. Honestly, like, again, his timing of engages are super weird. He just goes in when he wants to, like, not when it's like his team is like sort of, you're not like going in with his ball at all. But you can see like this his mid fight, and like he understands when to poke. But he's just so aggressive. Even though he's got like he's got one blink, like he just keeps going. And then he like hopes that his team will like heal him. Really interesting. We got just clapped here. I'm like mirroring him would probably be really scary because like he's like a tracer player, so his like mechanics are really strong. I don't remember who won this actually. Like, see what I mean? Like, he's poking. He's not really engaging. He's just poking. And like, it's interesting because like it feels like Junkfin is like doing more in terms of pressure than like the Tracer is. It's like the Tracer is like a distraction, and he pokes, and the enemy team all looks at him, and then the Sigma just pushes up and like goes forward. Messed up. And he still matches ball here and there. Like I still feel like if he like did what I was talking about with Cowman, where he essentially looked to engage more based off his ball and play more like because of his like macro with the team, I think it'd be better. I think his poke playstyle is like not bad, and his harass playstyle is not bad. One thing I'll also mention is like if we look at the percentage of the sticks he hits, it's really, really high, which is like a really good quality for a Tracer because you can just it's a pick, right? You can like turn a fight or you can just carry a fight. Did I go for the brig? Brig went there. Pressure ball. Very rarely. And like it sort of makes sense what he's doing here though, because they have like Briggs and Kree, so it's harder for him. So like this poke process works really well versus Brig comp. And I have a feeling the enemy team's running. I'm actually curious. I probably DM Moser and ask him. I'm pretty sure they're running this comp because like they're trying to like make Sigma like not do as much. But like how he's poking, like it's really clean. And then like I said, like almost like I'd say like 70% of his sticks he's hitting. He's just so aggressive too. I want to see. You're noticing he's setting up for every single fight, by the way. It's like right over here. They win this. Here we go. I went too far forward. They have point control here. Harmony Orb. He sets up for every single fight, it looks like. This is where you get the sticky, I think. Yeah. So aggressive. 2 HP. And he pokes. He has his CDs back. His mid fight is like really clean here. Mainly because he's got a target to shoot at though. And he goes back out and he lives. Dies. We are running Tracer Genji there, so they commit to a really hard engage. Which is what they did. It's really interesting. I think Dark Mode did a really good job of like playing their comp to make basically deny him so much space. Like he couldn't do much. Like he was forced to like essentially poke, and when he would go aggro, like he'd have to get like insane value instantly, and if he didn't, then you know he'd be forced out, and then he'd again poke. Okay, I want to see now how he plays against this because I don't think they'll run Kree here. So I want to see if he's more aggressive here, and in my opinion, he should be. Like I think he played the playstyle really well of like how to poke and how to like engage and then like get out and then poke versus like Kree comp. I'm curious how he's gonna play versus on a longer map. Because to me, he should be more aggressive with ball here. Yeah. Playing more aggressive with ball here. And just matching. Especially on defense when you've got Mercy Zen, you just want to make sure you deny their ball a lot. Sees ball go left, Tracer go left. Doesn't go there. Interesting. He holds over here. Huh. Okay, let's ball take the 2v1. Probably don't have enough time there to make it across. Okay, pressures Tracer. Zen dies. It's just interesting how much he pressures Sigma. Instead of like going backline, he pressures Sigma so much from the front. Which to me is like really just straight up weird. Because it's not an angle or anything, you're gonna get poked out. And yes, it's a decent hitbox and you're gonna do damage, but it's just really awkward. Okay, ball goes in, stalls, pressures Tracer, target sees in front of him, dies. He's loses this. Oh wait, no, they win this fight, don't they? Yeah, their Ashe player popped off. Okay. My God, look at that mechanics. That's insane. I'll play that slower for you guys. You guys can just see how he plays this whole round. It's actually pretty nuts. Like again, the Ashe player carried here, but like kills ball. Reloads first. He's got one blink. Goes straight into the fucking Zen. Sticks the Sig. Then he goes for Mercy here, gets the Mercy. Then after this he'll go for the Tracer here and cut the Tracer off. Use Tracer, cuts Tracer off. I think one of the things that make him really good is he's just not scared at all. Like he's legitimately not scared. He will just go in and like go for plays, and he'll just get care. Like his mechanics are super strong, and he'll just commit. Like he'll legitimately just commit. Because I still think that his like starting, like how he approaches fights at the start could be a lot better. Like he still sets up correctly in lanes, but he's not the type of player, in my opinion, to like pop off pop off at the start of fights unless it's a pulse bomb. He like pops off in like mid fights, like when there's like more openings and stuff like for him. Like see again, like here, this is the mid fight again. Like it's not the start. It's just really interesting, this play style, because this is like not a play style I've seen too much of. Normally I see Tracers being really aggressive with ball and like looking to make plays at the start of fights. And it looks like he plays to deny the enemy team's ball Tracer at the start of fights, and then looks to like get more value in mid fight. Only time again he really goes aggressive at the start of fight is when he's got pulse bomb. Oh man. Just like now he's up, so like now he might be a bit more aggressive. Ball made a play for him, so he'll push that. This is like pretty safe aggression. Fights one. The positioning is really good though. He's clearly playing lanes really well and like utilizing enclosed space. That's a really risky push. I'm shocked he pushed that. Because his Ashe is high ground, there's no reason really to push that. You're set up. You look for pulse bomb here again. Yeah, I think I figured out how he plays. It's just really interesting because no one in NA except for Cowman I've seen play Tracer plays like this. Like nobody. Like that literally it's just non-existent, and it's just crazy in my opinion that he plays so methodical. Like he just plays to deny enemy ball Tracer to start a fight, sets up where he wants to so he can deny lanes. If he sees a Tracer or a ball, he'll pressure them out. Then from there he'll go in. If his ball makes a play, he'll continue with it. Otherwise he'll just go for a mid-fight play where the enemy team is rotating. And then he looks plays for when he's got pulse bomb, and that's it. It's really interesting. Yeah, he is.
Greetings.
This guy's playing with 200 MS. He's like a Tracer, like one trick player. He's like a streamer, from what I've understood. The thing though, I think that really will like screw over this guy's playstyle is a team that is like plays together and plays really aggressive together. Because since he doesn't play aggressive at the start of fights and he doesn't like make plays like that, he's like and looks to counter enemy ball tracer. If an enemy's core backline is really fast and aggressive, he can't really do much. And I think that's what really happened on Koth. Like he couldn't do much. He just gets hard denied. And it's like happening here too, some of these fights. Because he just doesn't like him and his ball just like when they need to take space sometimes, they just don't pressure. Like they don't go for slams. They look to like soft take space by just poking stuff out like this. They're not like hard committing. They're just like splitting focus by like pressuring here and there. Like this is all just splitting focus, right? And then like you're confident in like your mechanics, so hopefully you can win it. But that's all this is. And then their backline just takes space, and the backline hopefully looks to win. Now you look at his blink economy again, it's like pretty good. Like he's very like methodical about how he uses it. He normally uses one blink at a time. He never use double blinks unless he really needs to get to a certain place, but he's always using one blink. Like here he uses two to like hard push that tracer. Oh, he's gonna lose that. Interesting. Other thing I'll also add is like he has like ways to get out. Like he knows where like his like kite point is if he gets pressured out. And this is what I mean, by the way. Like the enemy team is just so hyper aggressive, he can't do anything because him and Willie don't push. Like him and Willie don't like actually like engage together to like split the enemy team up. TRACER's a really good player. Like if I were to go like look at the other TRACER player, which maybe I'll do, and like I'll show you the difference. Like there's a massive difference. Like here, I'll show you guys what I mean. I think Chopper plays it. Elva. Well, Elva hopefully won't mind. Like watch how Elva will play. He'll play a match here. And now he'll go aggressive already. Like look, he's already going aggressive. He'll go out because he's no CDs. Like him and Yeetle will play like very much together and they'll look to like go for value. Like Yeetle's there. He's with Yeetle. They're dueling. Forced out. Knows they're above now. He's just trying to hold lanes. Guys. He was playing with Yeetle that whole time till he got forced out. And then he got forced out because the whole team was there. Guys, yeah, makes sense. Should lose this, I think. Might be able to turn it. Yeetle's popping off a little bit. Bob's really strong though. Yeah, that's gonna be hard. Oh, I think it's lost here. Skip here. Let's watch what he does here now again. Again, I'm gonna pretty much say he's either gonna look to hold space or go really aggressive with Yeetle. He's not gonna like do this like poke stuff. Pressuring backline. Goes on Ash. Fight's over, he has to get picks here. It's fine. And he's not really engaging Yeetle as much as I would think he would. I mean, they do have a Brig Zen and they have a Mercy Zen, so he's focused on a little bit more on like peeling. And that like makes sense, but it seems like honestly they're just looking to deny, like their playstyle. He's looking just to deny Sigma more. He's just literally matching their Tracer. That's hilarious. He's literally just matching Sigma. So sort of noticing, right, is like, and this is like an interesting thing because again, it's different because like teams have different playstyles, right? Elva, because they're running Mercy Zen, he's looking to hold more space and he's looking sort of just to match their Tracer and prevent their Tracer from getting on backline. And if he does see options, then he goes in with Beetle and like plays more proactive. But since they have point control, right, there's no reason for him to like really do anything. He's just holding space and preventing Sigma from doing anything. Because again, I'm pretty sure Dark Mode knows that if they just deny Sigma, they should be fine. Aggressive, aggressive. Then goes on the ball Tracer. He's literally just mirroring him. I honestly think he's doing a really good job, Elva. He's just holding space and just preventing. He'll look for a play here, though, I'm pretty sure. He'll either go for Tracer or look for a play after. With Pulse. Just going Tracer. One thing I want to point out, and I think it's like really, really important, is that if you notice where Elva's playing, he's playing in a position, like roughly over here. This is like sort of his area. And this position allows him to deal with like multiple lanes. Very rarely does someone come through over here because it's too long. So because of this, he's able to like deal with pretty much any engagement that an enemy team makes. So he's putting himself in a position that allows him to like, you know, use one blink or two blinks to essentially match or pressure someone else. I still think though there are certain situations where he should be pressuring more their backline instead of just poking. Like when there's more aggressive ultimates, like we look at the start of this fight. You've got Valk, you've got Trance. There's no reason for like you to really like peel backline, right? Like you should go look for an aggressive like pulse bomb and try and get a play with it here. Like your Zen's fine. You've got Valk. Like you know, there's no reason to like peel here. You should go really aggro. I'm like, oh, there's a stick. Okay. Like I think you should keep going. Like I think you should go pressure like Zen, go pressure Brig. But he's like still playing really passive, and I think that's a really big mistake. Because the longer the fight goes, the enemy team just hard brawls them, they're gonna lose. Well, sorry, the shorter the fight goes, like, how do I word this? Essentially, like, LFT, like the white team, right? Like when they just run into them with Brig, they're gonna get insane value, and also ults are gonna come up from them later in the fight, whereas other team is gonna like get value more at the start of fight because they have a lot of early ults. I'm gonna go back and look at some Sigma's POV, and we're gonna see how he played now when he gets to take space. Because to me, when he's trying to take space, again, I have a feeling he's gonna go still, like he might go for that same playstyle, but the enemy team's got a Mercy Zen, right? He should be looking to try and pressure that Mercy Zen, but he plays very differently. And what I will say is Elva's like pretty much matching him, so it's so hard for him to do anything. There it is. Because to me, he should be really, really, really hyper aggro on the back line. Yeah, you're seeing him be like way more hyper aggro on the back line. Obviously, they have tempo here, and they put them all into a corner, right? So like makes sense. It's a nutty stick. So you're sort of seeing this like play style difference, and I'll sort of explain it. And this is how I sort of look at it too. When you've got like point control, right? You don't necessarily always need to make plays, right? You can sort of look to like hold space. You can look to hold space, right? Like, and what I mean by that is like the lanes, whether you can look to like, you know, mirror their tracer. Or maybe their ball. And a lot of this is like you're in the poke phase, in my opinion. You're poking. Very rarely do you look to like go aggro? And this to me is primarily crap. Trying to think how to add this here. This to me is like when you have like a Mercy Zen. This is when you have like a Mercy Zen and you're looking to like hold, like you have Mercy Zen, so it's better to hold space and not look to go make plays because you just win the long fight, right? And if you have space, so if you're playing Mercy Zen and you have point control, it's going to be the same. It's going to be a very similar thing where you don't necessarily need to make plays, right? Because as long as your Mercy and Zen stay alive, right, you'll inherently just like win because your Ash will get damage boosted, your Zen will get damage boosted, you'll win the long fight. Now, what's interesting, and I think what gets a bit more complicated, is when you start seeing like Mercy Zen versus Brig Zen, right? And in my opinion, when you see there's like this two different options, right? I've seen tracers in this situation be very with even on Mercy Zen, right? Like be when you've got point control or when you don't have point control, still be really aggressive with ball at the first fight versus matching. Although what I'm seeing now in almost both these teams is that they're literally both just playing very pokey. You're playing to poke and you're just playing to like not really go hard on them, and you're actually just poking and you're basically just going for split focus. And that's essentially what they're doing when you're like they're playing this Mercy Zen matchup versus Brig Zen. So they're because they're poking, they're not using a lot of CDs, and they're essentially able to mirror, right, while hold space, while split focus. And then if they need to, because how they're positioning, which is normally in a position where they can go to many different lanes or make plays, they're able to like go aggressive or not. So they're sort of like it allows them to do a lot of options by how they're poking. And it's pretty interesting. Other thing I'd also add is their positioning here. If you actually look, how to explain this? Like they're like playing. I'll put it this way. They're basically playing in their backline's LOS. So that if they do get matched up, right, like if they do take a Tracer one-on-one or something, that they can still get resources from maybe their Ash or a Harmony Orb, so that it's easier for them to win. And then if they get an advantage, right, because of that, then they push forward and then they take space. And that's why like you're seeing like the team with Brig Zen like sort of struggle, because what's happening is that like we saw, where was it? We were watching when we were watching Sigma attack right here, right? He was struggling on second point because Elva would just match him, and essentially Elva would almost always play in Carrots and Moser's LOS, so Elva would always get resources, right? And it made it really difficult. And the problem with Sigma is where if he tries to play with the ball and he tries to go aggressive with the ball, Elva's just gonna match him, and it's gonna be really hard. So the only option Sigma has is to basically try and draw Elva out and try and win that 1v1 or force him back, and then essentially hope that his core, like these guys, get a lot more value because Elva is drawing a lot of resources. And then these guys get value, and then hopefully Willie gets value too because Sigma's matching, or Elva's matching Sigma, which then means Willie's a bit more free to do stuff because there's not a Tracer matching him. So like now, like in this playstyle, you're gonna actually end up seeing honestly ball like a massive like question of like ball, like how good is your ball player? Because if that ball player is actually good, even though he's got no like tracer player like with him, he can still get like really good displacement value, and because he's not really getting matched by a tracer, right? And if he's got good rotations, then like the only person he really has to worry about is the enemy ball, and that's not that big of a problem. So yeah, we'll keep watching, but it's interesting to see like how these players sort of play like the poke style of Tracer and hold space instead of like full hard committing. Because here you're seeing Sigma try to commit more, right? Because enemy team, like you're seeing him go really hard on backline. Because enemy team's got Mercy Zen. But like again, you'll see a second point here. You'll see like Elva essentially just match him and like deny him. So basically what you need to take from this is you need to understand when you need to be in more of a poke phase and hold space as Tracer versus being more hyper aggressive, and understand how the backline like takes into account there. Like here again, he's going hyper aggressive on the backline.
Greetings.
Like he just literally just constantly in the backline. I think one thing I really like about him is he always like sort of has a sort of an idea of where he wants to kite, or like where he wants to go, and he always has health packs to go to. He never really just randomly gets stranded. I would say his like there's like a downtime though. Like I still think like his mid fight sometimes could be better, and I think a lot of it comes from his first initial engagement because he doesn't really engage as much with his ball when he's trying to play this hyper aggro. He just looks for individual plays, which can get him value, but it's like not all the time. Again, he's getting the Elva's trying to match him. He's trying to pressure their backline. So Mercy Zen. Elva's trying to match him again. He's forcing cart. Elva's matching him again. He's playing around health packs. It's like if you're noticing this, like I just want to point out, Elva is always in a position where Elva has Harmony Orb, right? Like over here, Elva would technically have Harmony Orb. Like he can't get Harmony Orb because his backline isn't set up, and that's like a problem where, in my opinion, he needs to chill a little bit longer if possible, or be like a little bit more passive with his first engage. That's why normally when you want to engage, you engage with your ball, so like it's a little bit easier, and the ball takes like the brute of the damage. But he's going in by himself, and he's just getting forced out really fast because there's no one else with him, and the backline isn't always set up, so he doesn't get Harmony Orb. My girlfriend just walks in and just jumps. Okay. Goes, helps ball, sticks nice. Oh man, Yeetle gets out. Getting matched again. Like it's crazy. Like I was always in a position to get Harmony Orb. Sigma like barely ever gets any resources. He maybe gets some packs here and there, but his backline's like never set up, and he's always just getting forced out. Again, like he's getting forced out. I legitimately think if Sigma looked to actually make more proactive engages with ball since they're running, Brig Zen, and he was a little bit more patient and waited for his backline to set up, like after that. So him and ball look to go make a play, go slam something, their backline goes set up, and then the mid fight he just gets resources, like right now, example. He'll just do so much more. But like he does a coordination that like he just doesn't have that same coordination in all honesty that like Yeetle and like Elva have. Like here, like again, you see in the mid fight he's doing a bit more, but like in the start of the fight he barely did. Like he wasn't like him and his ball were not that really together. They never really went for a slam engage. And the day that their bash just sort of carried, which is fine because backline should carry in the mid fight. And like he does so much better, so much better. Once like he's not the center of attention, like once he's not getting pressure, like as any player would, he does so much better. Like in all these situations, he's so free, right? He's doing so much, but it's because like there's other stuff going around, so he's not getting focused at. And I think legitimately, again, just having him play more with his ball would have fixed so much. I think they're pretty sure they end up capping this. Lep sort of popped. Peeling. Interesting that he's peeling here. I mean, he's pushing cart, which is fine, but personally, like I would have wanted like the back line to push cart, but they're being really aggressive with rally, so I guess it's fine. Peeling. Yeah, like I'm just gonna show you guys like how little resources he gets actually. You guys can see. He gets Harmony Orb over here. No Harmony Orb. The Brig gets it because they're sort of brawling. I don't think he has Harmony Orb in this whole fight here. No Harmony Orb. Playing in the team. We'll go back. We'll go back and like look, and you guys will see like he doesn't get a lot of resources. And this is like a part of like being in a position where it's hard to get resources till your backline's set up. So where is he? Oh, he's over there. There's no, he doesn't have resources here. Pushes forward. Trance happens. Okay. I might need to honestly go further back, but we'll see. I think it'll be fine. Okay, again, like, so he goes really aggressive. He goes with the ball, brushes their ball. No resources. Their backline immediately gets aggressed on because the enemy team knows that there's two people on the ball. Forces cart, still no resources. He leaves ball here, right? And this is where it's interesting. Because since he leaves ball here, the enemy team all looks at him. He's forced out now. His mid fight doesn't exist. Elva chases him and like he gets forced out. Goes back. Again, has an exit pattern. He's out. And like it was really good on like dark mode for like really hard pushing them as soon as they realized that the enemy's ball tracer were on their ball. Again, he goes here, right, and sets pressure. Again, immediately forced out, like forced to recall. Because like this is what I was talking about, like the Moser's right here, Ash is there. They can basically gang up on the ball tracer, but like they're going so early. They come in again. Backline's using rally. Yeah, no resources. Like this whole time, no resources. And like here, he could have definitely got a Harmony Orb. So like if you just think about like how much he's doing without like getting a Harmony Orb, it's sort of crazy. And like it was smart that they pressured here so the enemy team could rotate over here. And then like again, when the enemy team pushed out here, they pressured again. They did it twice. They cycled. If you guys saw, he engaged here while they went here. That was 1. And then when they pushed out here again, he went back and then he came back in. That was 2 when they came out. So this is like the 1 and that was the 2. So like they are pressuring so the backline can rotate. But the thing is like when they're coming out here as 2, they had rally. So they don't really like their front line doesn't really need to be like as they can sort of chill. Like the rally is enough to take space. They don't need to sacrifice like them not getting value or them getting forced out. Ash just popped here with Bob. And I think third point doesn't really show too much. Oh, you can see that they're both sort of on point. They're just chilling. And obviously cart heals, so it's like at least you got something there. Pressure's Tracer. They're being really aggressive. Harmony Herb goes to ball, and so then it goes back and Sigma gets it here. It's just crazy. He just barely ever gets resources. And he gets some packs here and there, but it's honestly not really that much, I'd say. So you're seeing Sigma again hold space left. No Harmony Orb. Like they're running what Briggs ends, so he could, and the enemy team's on Mercy, so he could be like a bit more aggressive, even though they have point control. He could like look to make plays. Let's see what he does. It's Harmony Orb. He looks to go on Zen, kills the Zen. Like I said, like they've got Briggs Zen, their backline's fine, even though they have point control. Enemy team's got Mercy Zen. He's gonna be way more aggressive, right? So he just goes really aggro. And again, like if you see, like just compare where the ball was and where he was, like they aren't even on the same target. Like look. Like he just saw an opening and he just goes for it. Like the ball's on Sigma here, he just goes on Zen. The enemy team rotated really poorly, but yeah. Now he pushes again during that whole time. By the way, he didn't have Harmony Orb. Still doesn't have Harmony Orb. You got it now. You got it at the start. And it's weird here because technically Briggs should have it because you're brawling. He's chilling, going really aggressive again. Like they're like that. They know that enemy team's got Mercy's End, so they're just gonna be really hyper aggro. Point again I'm gonna add is like, first of all, there's no real kill box there, but what I'm gonna add is like Willie and Sigma again. Are they really like committing together? And the answer is no. Again, they're both doing their own thing. Like he just goes in really aggressively. Where is it? Watch. He just looks to go for a kill. Doesn't get it. CCTC's there. Ball tracer on. Is Ash tries to peel. And it's over. Now he's gonna look maybe for a pulse play, maybe to try and carry, but I think it's. If he gets a pulse, you can maybe turn it, but that's it. Poking and trying to hold space. Looking for a pulse. There it is. He'll try and carry now, but it's gonna be really hard. Forced out. Save CDs, gets res. Just that's looks to pressure Ash. Again, he's like so hyper aggro. Holy crap. We're gonna watch this actually from third person and see how their backline plays during this fight. Like watch how their backline like sort of like lives in an essence. So over here, Lep dies. Like the Briggs and Sigma are super split. Chungpin then goes high ground, right? Ball goes in, just feeds, right? Because again, him and Sigma aren't on the same page. And Sigma then looks for a play as Harmony Orb gets a sticky, right? Tries to pressure more, forced out. Then again, he'll cycle back in. Does he want to go on the Mercy? He doesn't, so he goes on the Ash now. Pressures the Ash. Flux happens, and like this whole time, by the way, the Sigma who was over here ended up rotating all the way around here to get back with the team. Flux happens, and now you actually see the ball tracers sort of going together. They push. Like he really understands when he needs to be aggressive and like when he needs to play more of the poke game and hold space. He's a very, very good job of it, right? It's just crazy that like in my opinion he would get so much more value if his ball actually like played with him. And I think the part of the reason why it's not able to happen is because he plays so fast that the ball isn't able to keep up. Like he finds openings and he just goes for it. So. And he's incredibly aggressive with his pulse bombs, if you notice. There's a ball tracer there, so he goes and escorts them back. Oh, this is gonna be interesting. Again, really aggressive. Look at this. Looks for a pulse bomb, misses it. Like again, no ball, but still doing it. Still like pressuring backline. Ball comes in. Trance. He would have probably got a kill there for sure too. They lose this fight. There's no way. They should lose this fight. Yeah, lost it. Let's see what Willie was doing here. Willie goes to pressure Sigma instead of going on the backline. Well, to be fair, he's really low HP, so if he went on the backline and got stunned, it would have been a tad risky. And this way it's also contesting point, but again, like, oh, if they just waited, right, and waited for the ball tracer to come over, like waited for the enemy team to rotate over here and then go on it together, it could have been a better kill box and engagement zone right here instead of having tracer soft go there and then ball go there because the backline's there to support. Like it's so important that like you set your kill boxes in positions where your backline can actually help you, right? Instead of just sort of like engaging in places where your backline can't help you and give you resources. Look at second point. He's all the way in the back line. He's literally so far back. My god. And then Elva looks to go match him with Harmony Orb. Forces recall. Every team's probably gonna look to take space now. He's there, like Elva is just completely denying him. And this is like what I mean, like he's playing in positions where his backline really can't help him. And like he has a very like under good understanding where he knows what lanes he should play, right? He knows like what health packs he can play around, but he just doesn't play around his backline as much as he could. And his backline just doesn't give him as much resources as they really should. They give Willie way more Harmony Orb than Willie should honestly get. That this should be, I mean, unless that Bob pops off, yeah, Dark Mode should have this. Again, he's going in the backline, trying to make value. Like, solo Tracer trying to get, like, value by yourself is just so difficult. He gets Brig. He's still there. Like, here, let's just watch and see how long he stays in this fight. And this is another example of, like, him not being the primary target, and the enemy team is, like, focused on point. Just see how much, like, he does. Looks for a pulse right. Sees the Ashe here, pressures the Ashe, gets low, gets the health pack, goes in the Ashe again. Ashe low. He gets discorded. Tracer matches him. You know, there's no health pack there, so he backs off, plays more passive. Looks to go on Brig with Discord. It's actually crazy. Got another Pulse Bomb. My god. Ugh. He plays environment so well and plays health pack so well. It's just a shame he doesn't get more resources. And it's just a shame that him and his ball don't have a better synergy. Something smells good. Okay, so Briggs End. So he's attacking. Let's see how he plays here. I have a feeling he's still gonna play really aggressive if he can get in. That is. If not, he's gonna play like the match. And I know Elva will match because that's what Elva's been doing. Which Elva just matched there and denied him. They're holding really close. This is really smart. They don't want Sigma or Willie to be able to get behind. So they're just holding close and like basically pressuring out the ball tracer. I mean, making it basically so Sigma has to approach like the fight as a front, like front. And that's like really awkward. Wow, wait, how do you kill Sigma there? Split? Oh, he used grass really early. That's why. And he got discorded. And then Lep just sort of like pushed really aggro. Let's see. Yeah, he was a little too far forward. He used grasps too early. The enemy team just rolled through him. What did Elva do during this though? So Elva should have pressured Sigma out. Oh, Sigma had a Harmony Orb here. And Elva got, okay. Elva just missed here. Elva should have forced him out faster, but Elva didn't. And Elva also got dynamited, so Elva couldn't do as much. That was actually a pretty clean execution. But again, if you look at that, right, Willie and like Sigma aren't together. They're both doing the separate things. And the only reason why Sigma got valued there is because Willie was a distraction for him. Like they have this way of like attacking two different things and then one of them getting value. And because of this, it allows like Junkpin to be like way more aggressive. Goes for a sticky, gets the sticky again. Like I said, like 60-70% stick rate. Again, like same thing here. Ball goes there, right? Like he's somewhere else. And I guess it's mid fight, so it's hard to get value, but like to be together, but still just interesting how they're so split. Okay, we'll probably wrap it up here. So the thing like you should probably take from this, right, is like understanding like how your backline affects your tracer play. Right? So what I mean by that is if you got Briggs Zen, right, you can sort of you can be a little bit more lenient on how you want to play because your backline is sort of more safe, right? So and then you look at the enemy team, right? Do they have a Briggs Zen? Do they have a Brig Zen? Or do they have like a Mercy Zen? And if they have a Mercy Zen, you can play like way more aggro, right? As you've seen Sigma sort of play by himself, but you can do that with Ball and play more hyper aggressive. And if it's Briggs and Mirror, right, you could sort of make a decision on sort of how you want to play. Do you want to play more of the poke style and play to like hold lanes and sort of just like prevent their Tracer from getting value and Ball getting value, and then only make plays when like here and there when you maybe you have ultimates, when you have Pulse Bomb, or maybe your Sigma is going to set tempo with like Flux and then as an enabler, and then you push aggressive, and play like the more poke style, or you can still play more aggressive, but it's like a little bit more tricky, but you can still do it. It just involves a lot about playing around environment, understanding where you need to kite to and live, aka health packs and like corners and whatnot. And also keeping in mind where your backline is so you can get more resources. And then the other thing is when you've got Mercy Zen, right, playing into a team that's either Mercy Zen or Brig Zen, and sort of then thinking, okay, well, if we're Mercy Zen now, right, and you're playing into Mercy Zen or Brig Zen, then realizing that your job is to be more of a poke style and sort of like understand to like control lanes and like keep your Zen, keep the Tracer and take the ball off you and position in a way where you're able to get to where you want, or like get to sort of all over the map without actually like having to commit a lot of cooldowns. And that was like really, you saw that really well on Busan, or not Busan, on Blizzard World Second, where Elva sort of like basically played in a way which made it really, really, really hard for Sigma to like get on the backline. It was really interesting. And then the other thing you can also look at it, right, and understand is like whether you've got point control or you don't. Because if you have point control, you don't necessarily have to play aggressive. But you can also like you can play to just hold the like space, right? If you've got Mercy's End, you can play to hold space and sort of just let your backline sort of frag. If you don't have point control, right, then it gets a bit more interesting where it's like you have to set up and try and get value. So the way to look at that, right, is understand again, are you Brig Zen or Mercy Zen? If you're Mercy Zen, again, try and keep people off your backline, try and hold space, set up your backline, then you can go more aggro. If you're Brig Zen, you can look to still go more aggressive with your Ball Tracer and look to push in. Now, what I might end up doing is like sort of drawing like a chart out, and that might be a little bit easier, but I'll do it probably later because I have to run for a session now. But the biggest thing is sort of just understand that there's two different play styles of playing Tracer, right? And sort of how you understanding when to choose them is like key.